So the next topic that Chase and I wanted to talk about was just this whole Pirates preview. And I think the most important topic that's kind of all on our heads is this whole pitching situation. It is, I don't really remember seeing anything like this where you don't have a single pitcher ready except for who is it? Miguel Diaz, who, maybe some of you guys have heard of, but he made a couple appearances in 2017, 2018, 2019. He was a Rule 5 draft pick. I'm pretty sure he pitched after Chris Paddock got sent down in his rookie year. But Chase, what do you make of this whole situation? Like, what do you think is up with this whole pitching staff? Lamet, Weathers, Gore. Like, why Diaz?
I honestly don't know why Diaz. I know he could be a good spot start. Maybe he's shown some stuff at the alternate site. He has a high velocity fastball. He has a pretty good wipeout slider, and I think he has a changeup. I'm not too sure on that, but he's shown glimpses from like the times in 2017, 2018, 2019 that he can be a really solid pitcher when he's on. But the problem is that he's very inconsistent. Like he'll either like strike out the side or he'll walk three and then give up a double and it's base clearing. He's very inconsistent. He's either like I'm gonna like throw this unhittable fastball, unhittable slider, or he's very vulnerable. There's really no in between. So maybe they've seen something, but there's a lot of other pitchers that probably could have gotten that spot start. I don't know why they went with Miguel Diaz. You can finally throw in Mackenzie Gore. You have a good reason to bring him up, and nothing yet. Though we have nobody starting tomorrow, so I don't know what the Padres are going to do there. And then we got Darvish on Thursday. So, hopefully we see Gore either this week or, sometime soon during the season. I don't know why they keep holding him down. He's your top prospect. You got to have some faith in him to adjust at the major league level.
Yeah, I brought it up before we started recording. It's super weird to see Miguel Diaz is going to make a start, and I think before we came on, we were talking to Matt, and I think he said it best that if you can get 4 or 5 innings out of Diaz with like 3 earned runs, that's a W because we don't really expect this guy to go out there and throw 99, 100 miles per hour with a 7 inning shutout or anything. That's not what he's going to do. Got to be realistic. So, I think something I brought up too was that I was hoping that maybe Nabil Chrismat would make the start. He's a reliever, but a long reliever. We saw him throw 85 pitches in the Pirates series, so maybe he make the start, go 3 or 4 innings, and then very weird to hear me say. Anyone who's been listening for a while knows this is weird. Stam and go 2, 3 innings, and that gives you a solid 6, 7 innings out of your long relievers, and then you have the rest of the bullpen do the rest. And obviously, we're not expecting a shutout, but maybe 3, 4 runs would also do the trick for that. But in terms of Gore, what's like, there's so many questions that can be asked. What's taking so long? And I think for me, the only reason that, maybe it's not the right time to bring him up is if he's having control issues or just mentally he's not there because, baseball is very hard to play when you're not like mentally right, when you're not mentally confident in yourself, and especially for a rookie who's never played in the bigs. But at the same time, there's only one way to get ready for the bigs. You got to throw. You got to pitch. You got to get out there and test the waters, I guess. Go 4 innings, go 5 innings, see what you got. You're a top, he's a top prospect. So I'm not expecting greatness out of the gate, and I don't think anyone is. So hopefully we can see him make a start here soon within the next week. That'd be really good to see, especially because we've all been waiting for so long. And whenever like situations like this have arose where we don't really have a starter set, the first thing that comes to everyone's mind is okay, Gore, because he's been our top prospect for so long. We've been waiting for so long. So hopefully that all comes to fruition, and we get to see Mackenzie Gore for the first time in Major League action. So, Chase, I want to ask you, who's going to be your standout? Who's going to be like the guy who keeps it up, and who do you expect to kind of bounce back?
Ooh, my standout, I want to go Ha-seong Kim. He started to do a lot better in this last series, not against the Giants, the one before that. And, he kind of didn't get to start this series. So I was hoping, they let him, get 2, maybe 3 games against the Bucks and, let Cronenworth sit, maybe pinch it, try to work his way out of a slump. And the player that I expect to stay hot is Grish. Grish has just been tearing the cover off the ball. He's always getting on base. He's done a great job. Just ever since he's gotten back from the IL, he's just been hitting nonstop. And the one that I want to improve is probably either Myers or Pham. I'm giving them one last chance. Myers has been in a slump a little bit more than Pham. Pham just hasn't been starting because of his lingering calf injury. I'm expecting Myers to be the same with his knee, and maybe that's why he's slumping. But I want one of them two to bounce back in a major way, because if they can keep going, man, this offense is just going to keep climbing up.
I think for my breakout candidate, because he's been in such a slump, and every time we've kind of done this, I've always chosen him because I don't know why, he's just always so good. But to break out again, I'm gonna go with Jake Cronenworth. He's kind of been in a slump, and I always go with Cronenworth. I always go with him. It never fails, so hopefully it doesn't fail this time. But I fully expect him to like kind of bounce back. Hopefully get some singles, get some doubles in there. Just get on. Be the kind of player that we know that he can be. Put himself in scoring position. Just I don't know. He doesn't really steal bases, but yeah, that's gonna be my breakout. Some guy that I expect to keep it up. I'm gonna go with. You know what? Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna go with Grisham too. If I didn't go with Grisham, I'd probably go with Fernando. He kind of didn't do great at the plate, but he's definitely like a lot better than what we saw at the beginning of the season. So I'm gonna go with Fernando to keep it up, and then yeah, we kind of need Will Myers to improve because like he has such a big presence in the lineup where he's always hitting with runners in scoring position, and we saw throughout maybe the Dodgers series he wasn't very hot, and then this Giant series he came up and he hit a ground ball to the pitcher with runners in scoring position. I'm pretty sure it was this Giant series that he did that. So that's something that, hopefully Will figures out because he's kind of been in a slump like Jake Cronenworth. But Will's kind of like a big power hitter in our lineup who supplies a lot of runs. Like he gives a lot of run support, either hitting bombs or striking out, hitting little ground balls or something. So hopefully Will breaks out again. That's going to be something that we're all going to be like keeping an eye on because he's such a big piece to our offense, especially in that middle of the lineup. But Chase, is there anything you want to talk about in terms of this Pirate series? I think if I was to ask you who, other than Diaz, who do you think is going to make these next couple starts? It's very hard for anyone to predict. Who would you say would be those guys?
I think Pedro Avila can make a start. I want to say Gore, but I don't know why the Padres are so hesitant of bringing him up. Maybe it's something that we don't know. Maybe Reggie Lawson, probably a few other guys that we don't know. Other than the top prospects, there's probably going to be a guy that comes up from, double A, triple A, the alternate site that we don't know is there and makes a spot start. So it's really hard to predict what the Padres will do because sometimes, they usually go away from like, hey, his top prospect has been performing, but this guy's been in the minors a little bit longer. Let's give him a shot. Let's see how he does. So it's really hard to predict, but I really would rather see Pedro Avila or Mackenzie Gore out there. Maybe Reggie Lawson if he's ready up to the challenge, but just those three.
Yeah, I like that you bring up Pedro Avila. He did make a start in Fernando's rookie year. It was 2019. He did make a start, and it wasn't bad. I think he went like 4 innings, maybe 3 earned runs. I don't really remember. It was against the Diamondbacks, but he didn't have a bad outing. He kept us in a position to win the game, and I think that's what we're kind of going to be asking from these next couple of guys to make these starts. You don't have to be a superstar. You just need to keep us in a position to win a game, and especially against the Pirates, who aren't the best team in baseball. Unfortunately, we did tie the last series against them. I believe it was a 4-game series. We went 2-2. The bats weren't really alive in those series, but now our bats are starting to come around. So now we're just asking for the pitchers. Again, they don't have to be superstars. They don't have to give us 6 or 7 shutout innings or 1-run innings. They just got to give us 4 or 5 manageable innings, which is what we'd all like to see from them. I guess if I had to make a guess, well, there's really no other option. You should bring up Gore. I mean, I don't think there's another option other than Avila. So I'm expecting Avila and Gore too, maybe. And maybe we see like kind of like a bullpen day where I mentioned like Chris, Matt, and Stammen, long relievers. I don't think that'd be a bad idea either. But there's definitely a lot of questions regarding this pitching staff. And I think the answer that we all want is Mackenzie Gore. So hopefully that answer comes to fruition. So, Chase, what do you think we go this series? Do you think we sweep 2-1? Do you think we lose? What do you think?
I want to say we at least go 2-1, if not sweep. It's the Pirates. They play some good baseball every now and again, but hopefully we catch them at a bad time and we can just continue our winning streak. We're 6-3 in the last 9 games, and that was playing some really tough baseball teams, but the Padres kind of have been playing to the level of their opponents. So I'm kind of scared that we might lose 2 if we do kind of, slow down a bit, but I'm expecting at least 2 out of 3.
I'm gonna go with the reverse jinx. Reverse jinx for the win. We're either gonna get swept or we're gonna lose 1-2. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a good series for us. Hopefully, this is a series where we see the bats really come alive and we see the offense really like reach their ceiling, because I think we all want to see that, especially in a series where the pitching is so like questionable. We're gonna need the offense to really carry us through this series.